Brodes Media.
Somehow the Philadelphia Phillies squeeze one out and take a 3-2 victory back to the hotel and looking for a win tomorrow afternoon to take the series. I was not encouraged by what I saw tonight. Okay? Not encouraged. But it needed to happen. A win was mandatory because when Arcia stares down your guy, stares down Bryce Harper after the nonsense we had to deal with not too long ago with that little rat, a win was mandatory. And in a weird way, I actually love the fact that it was the rest of the team that had the answer for Bryce. In an ideal world, it would have been so ridiculous to watch Bryce maybe hit a 3-run jack or a 2-run shot to put the Phillies in the lead, and it would be sort of your storybook ending. But that's not what this team is, obviously. They are struggling. They look confused. Sometimes they are flat. There's no storybook ending right now during this little rut, so you got to take it as you can get it. So when I see this team, and I watch Brandon Marsh, who strikes out at an elite clip, put one in play for a sac fly. That's beautiful. When I watch Weston Wilson, of all people, scorch a double to put your team in a position to maybe get the leading run across home plate, that is outstanding. Small ball. Sosa. Okay? Rojas with the double. Now the top of your lineup gets some sac flies. It wasn't pretty, but there's no way in hell I would have survived if they rolled over and died when Arcia not ran his mouth, but gave you the look of death. That guy's a bum. And don't even get me started with Whit Merrifield as well. He's hitting triples. He's hitting doubles. He's walking. He's on base all series long, more than he has been through the 100 damn games he played with the Phils. It was pissing me off. So I can't stand watching that crap. I needed a victory. And while I don't know if this is technically a recipe for success, and quite frankly, I don't think it is, steal a win. Steal a win and set yourself up for a chance to win the series. That was the goal. And I want to give Rob Thompson a ton of credit. And you can absolutely jump on the phone lines at 215-592-9494 if you want to climb in and share your thoughts on what you saw in Truist Park, because there were a lot of emotions. Estevez, leadoff walk. Oh, come on. I can't do this. Bryce Harper looking like Brian Boucher in his prime over there at first base, making sure nothing gets past him. That's exactly what I did, by the way, the second I realized the game was over. But I do want to give a lot of love to Rob Thompson, because I thought Rob Thompson managed with a purpose. And that has not been the case recently. That Sunday debacle was garbage from Rob. Not putting Bryce Harper in the game and essentially living and dying with the results of Cal Stevenson and Garrett Stubbs. It's despicable. Some would say managerial malpractice. And he followed that up with Game 1 in Atlanta, keeping Jose Alvarado in way too long, which, once again, managerial malpractice. He's been awful, legitimately horrible, has been Rob Thompson. Not tonight, though. So here you go, Rob. I'll give you your round of applause. He managed with the purpose. Going to Hoffman when he did, that's urgency. Matt Strahm, urgency. Now, it did make the eighth a little uncomfortable. I'm not the biggest Kirkering fan in the entire world. I do think he has it on some nights, though. And Rob got rewarded with this falling into the category of one of the nights where he looked solid. Smooth. It wasn't as if you needed to sweat it out at all either. He stepped on that bump and he delivered exactly the way he needed to. I love the urgency with Hoffman and Strahm, though. It's never going to be perfect, but I'm looking for messaging right now from the manager. And when he elected to start warming guys up when Nola was in the 6th inning, I liked what that told to the team. This is an important game. We have to win. We are managing this one as if it's a damn playoff game. That's the feel and the vibe that I got. The one decision that I wouldn't have done that Rob did, and it paid off dividends, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this, I would have kept Rojas in the game and not went to Marsh. I never feel good about Marsh putting the ball in play. Not right now. And Marsh did exactly what Topper needed him to. I would have crushed Rob if Marsh just struck out with a hideous at-bat that was super not competitive. So I don't necessarily love that decision, but we got the result that we needed. So I like... I'd say about 3 decisions that Rob made felt different than the poor decisions that he's made recently. Sitting on his hands, watching things crumble, waiting for more bad things to go down before he makes a move, before he goes to the bullpen. I didn't get that sense tonight. And what do you know? They won the game. It's almost as if the manager actually applies fire and applies a willingness to win, maybe the team follows suit. I'm just spitballing. It was a very important win, though. I can't sugarcoat it. We're looking for reasons to be optimistic. Not sure there's a lot here to chew on in that regard. But sometimes the result is what you need. We say this in football a lot. Survive in advance. You might win a game 12-9. You go, what the hell was that? Doesn't matter. Move on to the next week. The Cowboys are in town. Similar mindset here. 3-2, Weston Wilson double, sack flies, ground balls that score a run. Not your traditional way of scoring. Not a bunch of home runs. It is what it is, though. The W's in the win column. Now, here's my question for all of you out there, on top of just reacting to what we saw tonight. There's 2 ways of thinking right now in this city. One is there's plenty of time to get on track. This team is great. There's no team out there that's such a juggernaut. They're in the mix with the Dodgers, with the Brewers. There's no team that is by far ahead of everybody else by 15 steps. We thought at one point that may be the Phillies. We're starting to realize that's not the case. But it doesn't mean they're a bad team. It just means they're closer to the Brewers and Dodgers and maybe some of the other teams that are competing for the top of the wild card or something. They're closer to them than we anticipated. So that's one way of thinking. The other way of thinking is something's off. I fall in the category of something's off. And the reason I say that is, before Game 1 in Atlanta, Matt Gelb tweeted out that 2 hours before the game, we still did not have any information on the lineup. Why? Because Rob Thompson was waiting to see wear and tear on some of the fellas after they hit the batting cage. What? They had an off day on Monday, and on Sunday, you're not even going to JT and Bryce because it's an off day for them. Say 2 straight off days. Now we're trying to figure out exactly if people are healthy or not. So I'm putting puzzle pieces together here, and I'm starting to speculate. The reason I feel something's off, my gut tells me they are worn down. World Series appearance 2 years ago through Game 6. Last year, Game 7 of the NLCS. Now they're going through another journey here. Bryce is struggling big time, and it's not because he stinks. I think he's dealing with something behind the scenes. That's probably who they were waiting for after the cage. He's battling through it, but he doesn't look right. I feel something's off. And it could just be wear and tear from multiple playoff series in a row, and now they're entering their third year trying to pursue it again. I'm not getting the vibes I need right now. Now, is it impossible to still make something happen here at the back end of the regular season into the fall time? No, it's not impossible. You got Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's a stud. Kyle Schwarber is hitting 60 points higher than he was last season and using all fields. When Trey Turner's hot, he does help out tremendously. I don't think Stott is going to stink forever, although I don't know if the turnaround happens this season. So maybe let's throw that one out the window. But Bryce could still get going. Bohm just finished a ridiculous on-base streak. So there's still reasons to believe that it can happen. But if I had to choose right now, as I stand here, that there's plenty of time to get on track or something just seems off, I gotta lean something feels off. 215-592-9494. That's how I feel about it.